All right, so welcome to another rapid fire business story of the week. This is part of our rapid fire series, and today we have an incredible guest with us, someone who's achieved extraordinary success and is here to share their unique business journey with you. We're excited to hear their insights, so let's welcome them to the show. All right, so as this is our rapid fire series, we've got 1 minute or less to answer each question. So, in a minute or less, give us the elevator pitch to your story and your life. Go. All right, so thanks for taking a minute to be interviewed here on Business Story of the Week. Really appreciate it. You're going to be having a show host that will act as a mediator for the program today, but the interview is going to be done by me via this recording. This is a new format that we're testing. We haven't done it before. The show's run over 300, 400 episodes so far, and this is something totally new that we're trying. So on this show, this new version of Business Story of the Week, we bring rapid fire interviews with some of the most interesting minds in business. In the past, we've had people like Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank, Nolan Bushnell, the founder of Chuck E. Cheese and Atari, and one of the first people to hire Steve Jobs. We've had Chris Voss, the FBI hostage negotiator, and the list goes on and on. So you are in good company. This episode that we're recording today will go out to over 100,000 subscribers throughout all the different social media channels, and we're trying something new today. The questions will be asked by this video itself, and I may or may not appear in the final cut. So it's very possible that this video will be just you on the show. Now, each question is designed for a 1 minute answer, and trust me, 1 minute is longer than you think. At the end of the interview, please stay in the room so that your host can wrap things up. Now let's dive in. All right, so welcome to another rapid fire business story of the week. This is part of our rapid fire series, and today we have an incredible guest with us, someone who's achieved extraordinary success and is here to share their unique business journey with you. We're excited to hear their insights, so let's welcome them to the show. All right, so as this is our rapid fire series, we've got 1 minute or less to answer each question. So in a minute or less, give us the elevator pitch to your story and your life. Go.
The elevator pitch is, I was an executive training and development manager in the high-tech industry and worked in that industry for about 15 years. And one Monday morning, my manager called and said our whole department had been laid off over the weekend. So my thought that I would retire from that company went off the train, and my business built around me. So I've had my business for about 25 years, love what I do, but it was an unplanned event. And now I'm coaching small business owners, helping them not make all the mistakes that I made when I started my business. I work with small business owners to help them really talk about the value that they bring their customers. And that's what I love to do.
So that's fascinating, and I would love to dig a little bit deeper. So tell us a bit more about what you're working on today that you're most passionate about and believe will have the biggest impact.
Yes, so what I'm working on is helping small business owners transition to what's happening in business where they need to be online and they also have in-person. So it's a hybrid that's developing for small businesses. And I am developing a marketing magic, I call it, of how to find their voice and stop copying other people and bring to their market their uniqueness and what they do best and how to talk about that and really think about where is their audience? Where is their audience? Where do they show up? Where and how are they talking to them? And I'm finding that these small business owners are just posting and posting and posting, which is a very small slice of the marketing that they need to be doing. So that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm passionate about.
So, this next question is one that every entrepreneur has dealt with. Tell us about a time where you failed. We often say failure is the first step to success. So, think about a time where you failed in the past. What happened? What did you learn from it?
Well, this happened when I was in California, and a colleague that I had worked with asked me to join him in business. And what happened was we were going to go into a partnership. And thank goodness we did not, because he kind of just picked up and left. I've never heard from him since. And if we had been in partnership, I would have been responsible for the bank loan that he wanted to take out. But what I learned so much about coaching and how to market and not rely on one client. It was a devastating learning. And at the same time, it was a very powerful learning. And what I learned was that I needed to ask more questions, get more information. And I really do coach my clients on, you have all the information before you invest, before you make that leap. Know what it is that you're doing. Not that we can avoid some of the life's lessons, but that was a powerful one. That was a big one for me.
That's fascinating. That's fascinating. And we're definitely going to have you back on the show to dive deeper into each of these questions. But for now, one thing that I often say is, and I tell this to my employees and the people who work with me and for me all the time, is that when a tree falls in the forest, if nobody hears it, did that tree actually fall? This brings me to this next question. How do you make sure that all of these amazing projects that you're involved in get noticed? What marketing and advertising methods have worked best for you? You've got a minute. Let's go.
What I learned was that trying to do it yourself, all yourself, doesn't work real well. So I had learned to ask for help, and I have other people reaching out to their list and their tribe and their community to help me promote. And that has worked really well. The other thing is imitating other people, thinking that because what they do was successful for them is also going to translate into success for you. So I caution my clients, know who your target market is. Are they where you're advertising or marketing or speaking? If they're not there, don't go there. Go where your market is, because your message will be heard if you go where your target audience is. And getting people to help you, that's the big thing. That was a huge lesson for me. Ask for help. People are willing to help.
That was so awesome. We're definitely going to dive deeper into this on a later show. And as we approach our last question, before we ask people how people can get a hold of you, how people can reach you, learn more about the work that you're doing in your company, and we will include all that information in the show notes, what I wanted to ask you is, what is one piece of advice that you would offer to your younger self, to our audience, and to somebody, especially somebody who's just starting out in the same niche that you're in, but just doesn't know how to start or get going?
So when I started my business, I knew nothing about networking. In the corporate world, I didn't have to network, right? So building a network was a challenge for me, because I didn't have any information on how to do that. So I advise anyone, know how to network. It isn't just going to networking meetings week after week. I recently spoke to a class of seniors at the University of South Florida who are in the AMA, the Marketing Association, and that was the advice I gave them. Build yourselves a network. And I talk to them about how to do that, how to build a network and a community around yourself. Who are the people that you need in your network? And how to engage with people and build connections, build relationships. That is so important. Give to people. People will give back to you. That's advice that I think I wish I had had. How to build a network and how to network successfully so that those connections are supportive and you've got a community around you, because being a small business owner is very lonely sometimes and you can feel really isolated. And I think people did feel isolated during COVID. So now we're getting, to interact more with people and engage. So network consciously and successfully.
Amazing stuff. We're going to have to thank our guest today for being a guest on Business Story of the Week. And before we cut out on this episode, I wanted to ask you, how can people get a hold of you? How can people learn more about what you're doing? And how do people engage with you? And we will transcribe this and put it in the show notes for everybody to find.
People can get in touch with me. My email is Lorraine, LORRAINE, @lanebc.com. And if you want to be added to my email list, just ask me and I will. I publish interesting things to people who are on my list. That is the best way. And Facebook. On Facebook, I'm Marie Lorraine. So when you look up on Facebook, connect with me there as well.
All right, amazing. So you did it. Thank you for being a guest on the show today. Let me tell you what you can expect next. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all this, we're going to cut it into an episode. It will go on the Business Story of the Week page. So make sure you go on Apple Podcasts, review us, like us, go on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to us on Spotify, and this will come out in the next 30 days or so, depending on our workload and how many shows we have. We have had a lot of interest in the show lately, so we may be a little backed up, but the show will get out. In the meanwhile, we will send you clips that feel free to share on social. Also, the full episode, feel free to share any way that you like. The content is yours to share and put out there. We just ask that you mark us and tag us in the notes if you do. So in the copy, put hashtag Business Story of the Week, link back to us. We would appreciate that. And if you think that you might be interested in doing more podcasts, live ones and studio ones, Zoom ones, Riverside ones, there's a whole host of shows that likely if you did this one and succeeded, you would probably be really great at, and a great way of getting your message out. So your host will talk to you about potentially getting you booked on a strategy call for a Business Story of the Week's sister company, Podcast Cola, or becoming a YouTube influencer through Viral Mirage. Thanks again for being a part of this. Looking forward to working with you.